Hi everyone. So this is my shorter pre-recorded class for my subscription classes, but actually I'm going to share it with everyone this week. Some of my friends that I surf a lot with have been saying that their backs have been troubling them, and I keep saying, oh, I'll give you some stuff. So this is going to be useful for them. And then also in our class, it's Saturday the 9th of May, and I've already taught my Saturday morning vinyasa class as part of my subscription classes. And we were working with the theme of, all you need is you. And then it kind of fell into talking about the song of the body, and how our yoga practice is how we might tune the body and find our song. And then it also rolled into me sort of like talking about that the song of the body changes. Sometimes it's an upbeat song, sometimes it is a sad song, but coming into this idea that we have a song and that our yoga practice can help to tune the body might help you to meet you where you are now. And if there's some disharmony, discord in your body, some discomfort, then use your yoga practice to tune your body and maybe to change your song. Anyway, I'm going to keep it really simple today in terms of props. So if you have a rolled up blanket or rolled up towel, that's going to be the first useful prop, as will a cushion or a blanket to prop your head under. Again, normally our shorter pre-recorded class is a vinyasa style class, but I saw on the discussion on my closed online subscription Facebook group, some of you were reminiscing about a class I did right at the start of the first lockdown, which was to improve sleep, and how much you loved it and how much you kept going back to it. So going more gentle today, more yin inspired, and predominantly actually working on our back. So it's a good idea to practice this class with some good amount of layers on so you stay warm, and if you can, in a warm space. So let's get going. So the first thing we're going to do is use this to just gently lift and open the chest. So it may be useful to have some support for the head. Your rolled up towel, rolled up blanket, you're looking to have it in this shoulder blade, bra strap, if you're female, region of the spine. And the doesn't have to be particularly high. It just needs to be a little lift. And you may have to have a play around with where it goes. What you want to avoid is this causing additional discomfort into the lower back. So if it goes under the back, between the shoulder blades, your low back is really arching, then maybe it's not for you. Maybe it needs to come higher up. Maybe again, the knees stay bent, or maybe it might feel really nice. I've got my little egg timers, 3 minutes. So it is slightly yin inspired, not completely yin, but yin inspired class. Maybe the legs will go straight. Maybe for some of you, you prefer a stronger sensation, such into Baddha Konasana. That interestingly does cause my lower back to arch and feel uncomfortable. You want there to be comfort into the lower back. So let's go back to that feeling of the song. And you're trying to find a place in which you can rest, and that you're not creating discord, disharmony. So don't feel that, your song has to be the same as my song. So maybe you don't have that rolled up blanket, towel under the shoulder blades. Maybe you have your knees bent. Maybe you have your legs straight. Maybe you have those soles of the feet together coming into Baddha Konasana. Or maybe you have got those yoga props and you take this, but you put some blocks under the knees. But if you can, just come to a place where you can settle and then come to your breath. So often we think we need to do something in order to free the body. And absolutely, movement can be a crucial part. in the process of undoing tension, discord, disharmony, discomfort in the body. But this has to be balanced against sometimes a little bit more rest or more restful. And this is why this sort of practice, you might find a good evening practice, a good pre-bedtime practice. I often find if I just take a few yin stretches before bed, I fall asleep much more easily. Maybe undoing that discord, that disharmony, that unuseful noise that might be keeping me awake. And just staying with your breath around about another 30 seconds now. We're just breathing in. Maybe you're noticing the belly expands. Breathing out, maybe you notice the belly softening. Maybe you're just tuning into your song today, because this is the other thing. Sometimes we just don't notice what the tune in the body is today. We're too busy with all the things we have to do. And it's not when we stop to listen that we might think, I feel something here. Or actually, my song is a pretty tired, sad song today. Or, I'm full of 80s disco pop. Who knows? But learning to listen to your body and find a movement practice around how it is today will be a crucial part in tuning your body, finding your harmonious song for where you are today. So if your legs are straight or in Baddha Konasana, just bending up the knees, bring the soles of the feet together. From here, we're disturbing yourself as little as possible, roll to one side and remove your prop, your rolled up blanket, your rolled up towel, and then come back onto your back. This time, keep the knees bent, feet roughly hips distance apart in this pose that we might know as constructive rest. Pause here for a moment and notice an echo, like that blanket is still there. Maybe you just feel like that heart center, collarbone, upper chest region of your body is a little bit more open. And in this sense of opening, in this sense of space, maybe there's a little more space for your song. Or maybe it lifts the mood of your song. Or maybe it doesn't, but just notice. And then from here, we're going to bring the right knee into the chest. Interlacing the hands either at the front of the shin or at the back of the right knee, whatever feels best for your knee joint. And from here, I'm going to let the left leg lengthen, if that feels good. If your left leg lengthens and the lower back arches, then keep the left knee bent. That's your song. Honor your song. Now, with the right leg, just notice where this right thigh bone wants to go. And for many of us, it will fall lightly out to the side. It's not a case of actively drawing it into the chest or actively drawing it into the armpit. What I want you to do is try not to overly control what happens here. That's scary, isn't it? Just you gently use the weight of the arms to bring the knee towards you, and you'll more than likely find that this thigh bone will, to some degree, fall out to the side. The way your thigh bone falls out to the side will be different to mine because your pelvis, your bony setup, where the thigh bone meets pelvis, is unique to you and different to mine. But looking to get that feeling of gently squeezing at the front of the right hip. Now that's where our attention falls often, because that's where the main sensation is. Bring your awareness to the left leg now and feel an opening across the left hip, left quadriceps. What's your big left toe doing? A lot of the time, we find ourselves ready for action. So relax the left foot, relax the big toe. Keep checking in that the back feels good with the left leg straight. Keep breathing and keep just letting this right thigh You know, go where it wants to go, and gently squeezing, gently hugging in. A lot of this practice you could do with your eyes closed, even just listen to my verbal instructions. So taking 3 more breaths here. The end of your 3rd breath, we're going to rebound, release the right leg. If it's comfortable for back, have both legs straight. If not, bend the knees. And just notice the feelings, sensations, the song at the front of the left hip. That echo again, isn't it? That echo of vibration. Let's take this over to the other side. So we're drawing the left knee in, interlacing the hands at the back, front of the shin, or maybe at the back of the knee. If you have any knee issues, bit of a funky knee, rather than knee issues, because I have knee issues. And I prefer to say funky knees. If you have any funky knees, give the knee joint the space that it needs. If you have a funky back, maybe the right foot comes to the earth. You know, that phrase, funky back or funky knee, it's just a nicer, isn't it? Than any knee issues, any back issues. I've got all these issues. Keep drawing the left thigh in, just let it fall to where it wants to go. And this might be different to what happened on the other side. In fact, I'm going to say probably is, because the human body is not symmetrical. I like that phrase, imperfectly imperfect. Or perfect, sorry, perfectly imperfect. That's what I meant. Sorry, the human frame is perfectly imperfect. So we're not symmetrical beings. And just breathing in to the sensations. You know, maybe you're loving the thing with yin yoga. Some people just love to hang out and marinate, as they often say, in these stretches. And other people are like, pretty sure I need to get moving and do more. And I, for many years, was in that camp of I need to do more. I'm pretty sure I need to get moving. And yin yoga is really boring. And I, for want of a better word, probably sadistically forced myself to keep going with yin yoga. And over time, I learned the joy of the marinate. We all are unique, both in our physical frame and our personalities. Let's take one more breath and then releasing that left leg. And again, just notice, I quite like to bring the hands to the hips so you can feel that sensation there. And then bring both knees up in towards the chest. So you could just bring them straight in, or sometimes it's nice to bring big toes together and almost come into like a supine Baddha Konasana. If you're not sure, what feels better? You know, some people just feel it's nicer to let the thigh bones stay more neutral, more drawn in. Others feel it's nicer here. And if you just go with what works for you, then that will help you to find your song today. So you're just meeting yourself where you are today. And this rocking action, massaging that lower back. Because often when we have discomfort in the body, it's often, well, I need to stretch. And actually stretching definitely will help in most cases, but movement and massage can be equally and sometimes more valuable. Okay, and then bringing one leg down and then the other. Going to come into this threading the needle pose here. So right foot comes to the top of the left thigh. I do have a little activity in my right foot. So I'm spreading through the sole of my right foot, but not so much that I've got like overactive big toe, just enough so there's some space into my knee joint. And for some of us here, this is where we stay, okay? Others, we might like to bring this shape towards us, maybe just resting the hands. You know, if you've got props, you can put this foot on a bolster or brick. And some of us will find that we do like to interlace either at the back of the knee or maybe at the front of the shin. But to do that, if you have to bring the head up, I'm going to recommend you take a softer shape so the head can relax to the earth. Another one, most of our holds are 2 minutes, so it's not a full-on yin class. Yin, you tend to hold poses for longer. So make sure that head here, you've got the legs up, isn't tipping back, and you're not tightening or shortening tissues in the back of the neck. But that chin can gently draw into the throat, and the tissues in the back of the neck can soften. Here you're looking to actively just gently draw that right thigh bone away from you as you draw the left leg towards you. But not in a sense of force, like there's force, right? That is gonna not improve my song. I feel like I'll head towards some sort of like crazy heavy metal discord there. Here just I know will help me to rebalance, retune. Of course, there are sensations. So sensations of stretch, but I can breathe, I can smile. I've not got burning, electrical sensations or pain or discomfort in joints. So if those things are going on for you, you know, soften. Those are signs that you're not creating harmony, that your song is out of tune, you know, and carry on like that, and maybe you'll lead to injury. Let's take one more breath. And then bringing that shape down. The left foot comes to the earth, we undo the right leg. Pause for a moment. So this moment of rebound where the feet come to the floor, knees bent, and that's constructive breath pose. It's like a moment of processing what just happened, retuning and listening to the echo of that pose. That will inform how you may approach the other side. Did I have the volume right in sensation? So coming to the other side, crossing the left knee at the top of the right thigh, gently spreading through the sole of that left foot as we bring this shape towards us now. If you want to, remember that foot can stay on the floor. For many of us, just staying here, resting, letting left thigh bone walk away can be a great way to just create space, maybe into the lower back, maybe into the hip, maybe around to the glutes. You know, great question to me, where should I feel this? Well, in the yin part of our body, predominantly, so lower part of our body, predominantly, probably into the side of the glutes here, maybe some of you down into the hamstrings, into the inner groin, into your lower back. Then listening to those rivers of sensation, not into the head and neck. So if this head is tipping back, then prop a cushion under the head. Allow yourself to draw the chin towards the chest, the tissues in the back of the neck soften. If that still isn't possible, then soften the shape of the legs. You know, don't fight against the song of your body. Don't fight against where you are today. That won't lead you to a sense of harmony. So maybe a little known fact about me is I started off actually going to music college and training to be an orchestral viola player. And I look back now and think like that was probably the start of my yoga training. Like my viola teacher always taught me to take a breath before you started playing, for example. And you had days where you'd pick up your instrument and you just played really well, really in tune. And then you had days where it was a struggle. And on those days, you would try harder because the day before you could play this piece. And the harder you tried, the more you forced it, the worse it got. And what I should have done, but it was hard for an 18, 19-year-old to accept this, was not play that piece today. Maybe take a simpler technique. And the body is the same. Let's take one more breath and then releasing those legs. Undoing yourself for a moment, a rebound back into that constructive rest. And then from here, we're going to roll over to one side. So traditional yin purist would roll over to the left, but just roll over to one side. Any side that you've got space to do is fine. And we're going to come to a tabletop position. So hands are roughly underneath the shoulders, knees roughly underneath the hips, and there's a little softness into the elbows. Pause here for a moment, feel the crown of the head lengthening forward as the tailbone lengthens back. And let's just take a few rounds of cat-cow. So we're going to round the back, drop the head, drop the pelvis. Notice the song, notice the sensations as you move the spine. Inhale, melt the heart, soften the elbows. Let the head lengthen, but keep tissues in the back of the neck soft. And just move between these two places. So sometimes we can feel when we've got some lower back pain, we can feel quite stuck, quite tight, quite stiff. And stretching definitely is one way to release that stiffness, but sometimes just taking a lovely balanced movement in all directions, such as a simple thing such as cat-cow, can work really well to just find new space, new areas for vibration music to travel through in your body, so you can tune up that body, tune up your song. And then from here, we're going to come back to center, big toes together, knees as wide as you like. As you sit back, buttocks to heels, or if that bothers your knees, put a cushion between the buttocks and heels, and come forward to the head to the earth and relax the forearms onto the earth. So we come into a pose called child's pose. So if this bothers your knees, bothers your ankles, try putting a cushion between the block and the heels, or try putting a blanket under the ankles. If you're still, nope, this is still bothering me, because this should feel really restful. So if it doesn't come round onto your back onto constructive rest, otherwise just breathing now into the back of the body. Maybe you can identify that area in the back that might feel a little tight, a little stuck, a little bit out of tune. And can you just direct your breath there? And see, the breath will offer movement, and in that movement we offer release. We offer the opportunity to tune our song, tune our body. And if you're running short on time, but you're thinking, I definitely need to do some of those things that Amy said, then that cat-cow that we've just done, and then this little resting down into child's pose, they're my top top suggestions to pick if you're short on time. And then this is one of my all-time favorite stretches to do from child's pose. So just to finish now, guys, we're going to take the torso over to, I'm going over to the left. It could be your right, doesn't matter which side you go. So we're coming over the left side. Ideally, the head will come towards the floor. It's nice to rest the head on the floor. Sometimes I find I like to bring my forearm forward so my head can rest on my right forearm. I'm stretching over to the left. Some of you may find it's okay to have the head dangling. But we get this big, wonderful stretch down the right side of our body into our right armpit. Maybe there's some sensations at the front of the left hip. But just breathe into these sensations. Breathe into the current song of your body. This is an excellent stretch for all of us. I definitely think it's a great one for those of you that do a lot of surfing or upper body work. Let's come back to center and walk over to the other side. So again, I like to find a bit of space before I come down. And then coming forward, maybe the head doesn't come to the floor. Maybe you use a forearm. There's kind of like options here. If you have a block, you can use a block. But predominantly looking for this lovely stretch down the side body. So that sit bone of that back leg does pop up, but you can root it back down. Not about getting the buttocks to the heels, but actually using the sit bone of the back leg as a little anchor here to get that juicy sensation of stretch. Down the side body into the armpit. Breathing into those sensations. And then unraveling, coming back to center. If kneeling is comfortable for you, just come to a kneel. Take a few shoulder rolls. And hopefully the song of your body maybe is a little more in harmony. And hopefully if you've done this class before going to bed, it's another one of those classes from my subscription lot that you like to do to help promote some good sleep. Thank you very much for doing yoga with me.